Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Miss Lum. Good morning, Joshua. Welcome. Hope you guys are ready to get this morning started. I know I am. It's going to be a good day. So, welcome. Let's put that hair back there. Good morning. Hope you guys enjoyed the show yesterday, and I hope you're ready to get the day started this morning. I know I did. It was a beautiful day yesterday. The sun was shining, so it's going to be a beautiful day today. Good morning. So let's do the introduction right fast. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I am. If you're friend, please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. Don't forget, we have the podcast, we have the books, we have all the things, the movie. They don't do any of that. Tell them I said good morning. Good morning. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a lovely, lovely day. So let's get right in. Let me pull up my notes here because I learned another story. This one is good. So let's get right into the quote of the day. And if you share the show, please make sure you tag me so I can properly tell you thank you. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but it's not. I don't think the same people are being able to see the show. So let's just make sure they do that. It costs nothing to share, so I greatly appreciate you doing that. So the quote of the day: I did what my conscience told me to do, and you can't fail if you do that. And that's by Anita Hill. I did what my conscience told me to do, and you can't fail if you do that. We all know who Anita Hill is. If you're my age, 45 and old, and you know who Anita Hill is. So if we do what our conscience tells us to do, what we know is right to do, we can't fail. Not at that thing. If you're doing what your conscience is telling you to do, what's the next right thing for you to do? You will not fail at that thing. So today, that's the quote of the day. So the thought of the day, we're going to talk about fleas. And I wanted to do young versus old, so I just combined them together. Because I want to talk about the young you and the old you and the different yous that there are. But then I heard the story about fleas. And then I had to tell the story. So we learned about the goldfish that I didn't know about growing to 75 pounds. But if they're in a little goldfish bowl, they stay little bitty. Didn't know anything about that. Learned that. But I've learned something about fleas. So Les Brown told me the story about fleas. And I was like, well, I got to share it because it makes so, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at life, let's just talk about it. So fleas have the capacity to jump 18 inches, right? They jump dog. You can walk outside. Remember your mom used to say, you play with them dogs, don't bring home no fleas, or you outside. And she was like, that dog had fleas rolling around in the grass and they done jumped on you. And so fleas have the capacity to jump 18 inches. Now, if you take those same fleas, right, they can jump 18 inches. That means there's no top on what they can do. They are working to their full capacity. If you take some fleas and put them in a jar and put the top on it, they will continue to jump and they will see that they're hitting their head against something. And they will keep jumping to hit their head. And eventually one day they will jump and they're just a little bit lower than the lid. because they don't want to hit their head anymore. And then when you take the top off the lid, the flea will only jump as high as he thought the lid was, right below it, because so he doesn't hit his head. And he will never jump out of the jar, right? And they will multiply and have children with the lid off. And those children will only jump 10 inches high, because the fleas have communicated to their children how high they can go. So they have the capacity to go 18 with no top. Top on, they'll keep jumping till they hit their head and realize I need to stop hitting my head, jump a little bit lower. The top will be taken off. They will still stay where they are. They will then multiply, and their children will jump less than they did, because they will tell their children they can't do it. There's no use. There's no need trying, because we're stuck here. You're going to be stuck here. And so whatever you decide to do, no, you cannot do it. So let's talk about that in terms of life. And I'm sure everybody's mind is turning now. Like, can you not see this in life? That we all have that potential to jump 18 inches, to move, to go, grow, and do. There is no top. But somewhere along the way, life happened, a disruption came, and you hit your head. And it hurt. Somebody broke your heart. Somebody died. You had a life-changing moment. And you hit your head on the assuming lid on your jar, on your life, right? Well, then somebody came along and said life continued to happen, and that lid or that brokenness was no longer there. But because you didn't move past it, you held on to it. And even though life kept going, you kept the lid on yourself the entire time. And so now you just don't even jump anymore. You don't even care. And because you have that mentality and you've thought that way, you've passed it down to your children. And your children will never jump as high as you even went. They can't even get on your level. And you stopped here, and they're stopping here because you told them there's no use, because life's going to hurt you. Somebody's going to break your heart. Somebody's going to do this. Somebody's going to do that. And you have conditioned your children. You have conditioned your family. You have conditioned those around you not to jump, not to live, not to pursue, not to look at their potential. Absolutely, Joshua. And so now we have, and listen, this is where generational thought processes come into play. Okay? Generational thought processes. I will always be broke because my mama was broke. My daddy, my great grandma. There's no need for me to try to be a millionaire, Jojo. There's no need, even if you don't want to be a millionaire, there's no need for me to try to live beyond paycheck to paycheck, because everybody I know did it. So there's no need for me to even try. Your family trained you to not ask for more. They trained you to think that it's bad to want more, to think better of yourself, to want something different. They trained you to think that something is wrong with you if you do that. Now you're training your children. And you can get mad, but I think this is about as true as it's going to get. Take a look at yourself. Why are you where you are? Let's say you didn't look at your own potential, but you accepted whatever your mama's saying. You can't jump here. You accepted your mama saying you can't lose weight. You're asthmatic. You can't do this. You know you're stupid. You can't get a better job. Girl, just take that job, work, and you can still get. And this is a mentality. Work that lower job, and girl, you can still get your food stamps and your Medicaid for the kids. And you are teaching your children never to apply themselves past that. That you can survive past social services. You can survive past, and you don't have to live less than, and you don't have to work the system. That you have full potential to work yourself, to start that business, to do that thing. But because your mama told you, and you kind of accepted it. Now you're passing it down to your children. And so think about yourself. Where are you at? So this is the young versus old. Where are you at now? The older you. What part of the younger you was told that you had no potential, you couldn't do this thing, it's not a possibility? Who put the cap on what you could and could not do so that it reprograms your DNA not to ask for more, not to think about anything more, not to do anything more, just not. In everything. In your thought process, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. Everybody in my family, we big bone. Ain't no such thing. Your bone structure is the same. Ain't no big bones laying in your body. We always been a big family. Flea story. Carried down to you. You're carrying it down to your kids. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying how it's happened. My great-grandma was asthmatic. Okay. And it is the words that come out of your mouth that set your future. Well, my mama and grandma lived in this neighborhood, and if it's good enough for them, no one is disrespecting anybody in your family. Nobody's disrespecting their thought process. Nobody's disrespecting the things they worked hard to give you and to do for you. I'm simply saying, can you ask a question? What flea story were you told? Were you told you could jump 18 inches? Was the top put on and you were made aware that you're going to hit your head, so you decide not to even jump as high as your parents? And what flea story are you passing down to your kids? I'm simply asking you to ask yourself a question. And as you look at the young versus old, this is what I found out when I did that, is that I've learned a lot on this journey. I've dealt with a lot of disruptions in life. And disruptions are the things that you hit your head on, right? So I've had a lot of disruptions in life. I had things that just didn't work out, things that didn't go my way, things I had to learn the hard way, lessons I had. We all have disruptions in life. It is now my responsibility to share with others, to say, this can be a disruption. This can be a problem. And when you hit your head, it doesn't mean you stop jumping. It simply means you reevaluate where you are. You learn. You don't reprogram to do less. You reprogram to do more, to do different. So it's my responsibility to make sure I share that with you, so that as you contemplate this thought process today, the fleas, the young versus the old, take a look at yourself now and look at the younger you. Where you are now, is it a result of the story somebody told you where you could go, come and do? And for those of us who have been on this journey and we have grown past some things, we can see clearly now the rain is gone. We can see where we were maybe jumping to 10 or 11 when we could have been jumping to 20. But because someone had reminded us about a disruption in life, we chose, I ain't going to go that route. Let me just not jump as high. And you never realize your full potential. But let me tell you where your full potential comes to haunt you, right? Your full potential comes to haunt you when you see other people doing something you wanted to do. When you see other people succeeding at what you know you're way better than they are at. Guilty. It will come to bother you when you see people who look like you or who don't look like you, from where you're from, who talk like you talk, who have the same everything you got, but they're living a totally different life than you. And you're sitting there thinking, man, and here's a negative word, I wish that was me. There's no need to wish. Go do. And the difference between wishing and doing is application. It is a mindset shift. I'm not going to wish to do anything. If this is what I want to do, that's what I'm going to do. And it is the mindset of that flea, that person that said, I know my mama jumped 12 inches, but I'm going to try to jump 20. Or if my mama jumped 18, I'm going to try to jump 38. It is the mindset that it doesn't matter my reality. It doesn't matter the disruption that comes, or it doesn't matter the disruption that has happened to others around me. Sometimes we are honoring the pain and the disruption of others around us. Like your mama got her heart broken. And so now she may be a bitter old woman because she's assumed there's no good man because your daddy left her with you and she had to raise you as a single parent, and she holds on to that story. And she's giving you that story to hold on to. So even if you do have a good relationship going on right now, you can't see your way to accept that love and that good relationship because you want to honor your mother's pain. You want to honor her disruption in her life. And as you do that, you are cutting the life off in your own, and you're doing the same thing she did to you. You are passing it down to your children. Thank you, Joshua. What's the name of that? Oh, Rise. There you go. Thank you, Joshua. So this morning, as you think about the flea story and that they can jump 18 inches, if I am a kid whose parents have told me that there's so many disruptions in life, how many of us were raised by scary parents? Meaning, don't go outside, somebody kidnap you. Don't go play there because you'll get a cut, scrape, and a bruise. Don't do that because you'll get hurt. Honey, my mama opened up the door and told me to go out and don't come back until the little street light came on. We had a street light in our yard. A street light came on. Here's your bicycle. You drink water out the faucet outside, out the water hose. You can get a snack. She gonna put that on the carport because there was a table on the carport. She gonna set your snack out there. You can eat it all if you want to. And then when I moved to my grandpa's house, and we lived on 30 acres and it was woods everywhere. Honey, we had an apple tree, we had a peach tree, a pear tree, we had grapes, we had strawberries. And he said, you should never be hungry. Child, gal, that's what he called us, gal, you should never be hungry. Don't come in here looking for a snack. Go eat something out there in the yard. You had a garden. You could eat your cucumber. You could eat your tomato. And if you did come in, you had a fatback sandwich wrapped up in a piece of white bread. But I had the opportunity to go and see and do without the scary parent. And so if you've been the scary parent or you were raised by the scary parent, did they just cap you off at how much you could do? I can't play that sport. I might get hurt. Who told you that? So can we realize our potential today? That and fleas may not be the best animal to articulate this, but they can jump 18 inches. How many inches are you jumping to? There's no top on. The top is off. Yes, there were some disruptions and you hit your head. It doesn't mean you stop jumping. It doesn't mean you teach your children not to jump. Some of us, we're crippling our children, our nieces and our nephews because we assumed that it was so hard for us when we hit our head, when we had a disruption in life. What we can't do is stop life from happening to our family, unfortunately. We can try to be as proactive as possible. But I want us to encourage ourselves today to look at our potential, to look at the potential of our kids. Good morning. Good morning, Kimberly. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I was the scary parent up until a point. And for those that don't know, at 6 months, Courtney fell downstairs and cracked her skull. At 1, she ran into a wall and busted a blood vessel here. At 2, she had to have brain surgery. So she had a cracked skull. She had 6 stitches here. She had brain surgery. So she had 36 stitches from the center of her head down the base of her neck. 6 months after that, she fell out the bed, bust her head open again. More stitches. When she was 7, she fell off the bicycle, the bolt of the bicycle, forehead, here, broken arm. So she had to have more stitches here because the bolt went halfway into her forehead. She had to have more stitches here, and she broke her arm. At that point, I was ready to put my child in a bubble. Like, what are you doing? So for a minute, I was that scary parent, and I realized if I keep putting my limitations on her, she will never go accomplish anything. She will continue to live in my limitations. And so I had to let that go. So when Rosie came along, and then she did all the things. And by the time Courtney was 8, I took all the limits off, and she did all the things. Oh, you want to go to Virginia with a group? And I know it's a mentoring group, and I don't know those people. Go. I ain't saying I wasn't informed, but I also knew. So this is a thing. And if you're, in the Black family, just you gonna let your kids go with them people, you don't know them. They stay gone too much. They will go. They will experience life. They will not jump lower than me. They will jump over me. And I am bound and determined. So every Girl Scout, every Delta, every church event, wherever they was going, and they could go by themselves, they went. Was I nervous? Yeah, but I didn't show that in front of my kids. Honey, here's some money. Go have a great time. When they called, I was chipper, amazing. Honey, at 5. Yeah, at 5, Rosie was going the entire summer with her best friend up and down the East Coast. I saw Rosie maybe once the whole summer at 5. Mommy, I'm on a ferry car. Honey, have fun. Mommy, I'm at Dick. Honey, had the most amazing time. I did not want to allow my fear to stop her from living. So let's think about how casual have we been about life. Like there's an adjustment that has to be made, right? Like there has to be an adjustment made when disruption has happened to us. We have to make an adjustment. But how casual are we about life? Are you just like, whatever, I'm just living? We need to be intentional about adjusting ourselves accordingly when life disrupts things for us. And because we casual, like, well, I guess it just happened, so I'm not even going to question it because that's what the Lord wanted for me. Don't let God be your scapegoat for why you don't want to take responsibility for doing things. Because I could let Jesus do the same thing. I mean, I could say that a lot. Good morning, Tammy. Right. You let your kid go, do and go. Honey, go live your whole best life. And it allows your children to experience things outside of you. Like we had some experiences together, me and the girls. Honey, like packing up and moving. And I showed them that even in the face of fear, you can still do it. You can still do hard things. But go experience life without me. Go see different things. Honey, go. Go and have the most amazing time doing it. Jump higher than I did, than I ever thought possible that I could do. That's the point. So when you're looking at the young versus old, and you're looking at the older you versus the younger you, have you been casual about things in your life? And at what point are you going to make an adjustment to do something different? I'm sure we have all learned so much in life about dealing with disruptions, dealing with life, period, dealing with all the things. It is our responsibility to now share that even if a disruption comes, you can still keep going. It doesn't mean you stop jumping. It doesn't mean you stop looking at your potential. It simply means that you can keep moving. So on this lovely day, yes, Tammy, honey. And your children will thank you for it, because there have been plenty of times I've sent Courtney on things. I don't want to go. I'm scared. And it pushed her outside of her comfort zone as well as mine. Now, when she got older, she's like, Mommy, I'm thankful that you did that. Like eating food. So the rule was that if we went out to eat, if we went out to different restaurants to eat, you couldn't order normal things. You couldn't order your chicken tenders. You couldn't order things that you would normally eat. Everybody would have to try something different. And so my rule was, if it has the ingredients of things you like, if you like chicken, peppers, onions, if you like the ingredients inside of it, then you're halfway there. So our rule was, you had to try. If we went to a Mexican restaurant, you were not eating American food. If we went to a Chinese restaurant, you were trying something different. Japanese, whatever, you were trying something different. Now, if you didn't like it, that's a different story. But you're not going to tell me you don't like something and you didn't try it. How you know you don't like? I don't eat that. How you know? Because my mama don't eat it. Why? Because she said it was nasty. You see how you in passing that mentality down to your children? So I encourage them, honey, try something different all the time. Now later, Courtney was like, I'm thankful you pushed me outside of my comfort zone to do things, because I never would experience that. It didn't mean I wasn't outside of my comfort zone. It didn't mean I wasn't a little scared, or honey, it just simply meant that I'm not going to allow the fact that I jumped this high stop her from jumping this high. So on this lovely day, how casual are you about your life? Are you just, it's just happening? Did you wake up with an intention this morning? Did you wake up with the intention of jumping 10, 15, 16, 18? Listen, and even if this is your first time jumping, right? Even if this is your first time, you know what? Let me try something different. It can be something really simple. It could be trying a different food today. It could be trying a different routine in your home today. So I know some people still quarantine. Maybe you do something different today. Maybe your morning is spent sitting outside on a porch. Maybe your morning is spent riding around a different neighborhood today if you have free time, with the windows down, honey. Stop breathing recycled air. Go get some fresh air in your lungs. So maybe your jump today is wearing something different. Maybe your jumping different is putting on your perfume and some nice earrings. It don't matter if you just sitting there. I promise you will feel better. Maybe your disruption today, paint your fingernails and your toenails. Maybe your disruption today is to do something with your hair. Fellas, maybe your disruption is to get your waves together today. Maybe your disruption is to iron that outfit today. Maybe your disruption today is speak to a woman or a sister and uplift her today. Women, maybe your jump and your different today is to uplift a sister. Let me tell you something. I'm one of these women, and it used to annoy my kids, but now they do the same thing I do. I see a woman, a black woman, it doesn't matter, black, white, and I will stop and say, girl, I love that hair. That outfit looks so good on you. I love them shoes. It will bring instant joy to someone today, and it costs you nothing. And you ain't got to, I don't even stop to have the conversation. I'm walking past, girl, them shoes is everything. I love your hair. And they will automatically like, oh, thank you. And they will smile. You have no idea the difference you can make in somebody's life today. So be intentional today. Don't be casual about life. Be intentional today and know that an adjustment has to be made. And as you begin to make these adjustments, okay, you will begin to see that you can jump a little higher. You can go a little further. You can think more than what you did the day before. So on this lovely day, I hope this has helped somebody. If it has, please let me know. The quote of the day, I did what my conscience told me to do, and you can't fail if you do that. And that's why I need to heal. And I love this flea story. I'm glad I learned it. So fleas have the opportunity to jump 18 inches, no tops. But the minute you take and put them in a jar, they will keep jumping until they hit their head. And eventually, they will learn that if I jump that high, I'm going to hit my head. And that's a disruption in life. So then they start jumping a little bit lower. They then multiply and have children. And the children only jump 10 inches high. because my mama, my daddy, sister, brother, cousin, everybody in my circle told me there's no need to jump because disruptions are going to happen in life, because people are going to hurt you, because you want to get heartbroken. There's evil people out here. Honey, we know there's evil people out here in this world, but there's more good than there is evil. It's all in what you focus on. So if you bring that child up in fear, because you were brought up in fear, they will be fearful, and you pass it down generation to generation to generation. And until somebody along the line stops and says, why do I do this? Why am I afraid of this thing? You will have hundreds of years of fears passed down, of limitations. And you can say, Jojo, it ain't that serious, friend. Think about it. Why don't you do what you want to do right now? Why are you afraid to eat different food? Why are you afraid to travel somewhere else? Why are you afraid to move out of your hometown? Why are you afraid to wear that outfit? Why are you afraid to try a different religion? Why are you afraid to do this? Why do you wear the clothes you do? Why are you in the religion you're in? Why do you cook the way you do? Why do you fold your towels that way? It is because someone told you this is what you do. Why do we raise our children this way? Because my mama's hundreds of years back raised them that way. And here I am raising my children this way. What limitations are you giving your children today? Are you training them to jump this high when the sky is the limit? And if you, young versus old, honey, if you're an old flea and you're trying to learn something different, be intentional about your life today. Don't be casual about it anymore. Be intentional. It is that serious when you think about it. And y'all know my story. I inherited my fear of flying. I inherited my fear of water because my mother had, and my mama didn't even have a traumatic experience with flying or water. She didn't. Her mother didn't have a traumatic fear with water or flying. Her mother saw something, assumed it was bad. She gave that fear to her child, who passed it on to me. And I was unknowingly passing it on to my children. But when I figured it out, right? When I figured it out that I was passing it along, then I stopped. I became intentional about what I was telling my children that you can jump to. So on this lovely day, know that disruptions will come. It doesn't mean you stop jumping. Life will happen. It doesn't mean you stop living. It doesn't mean you quit. Do not allow your religion to be your scapegoat on why you don't do it. Because some of us were saying, it's just the Lord's way of telling me to sit and wait. Is it really? Is that the excuse you're comfortable giving? That's the question. And if that's the excuse you're comfortable giving, honey, hell and high water ain't gonna change your mind. Michael could come down, honey, and blow the horn for you, and you still wouldn't change your mind because you'd assume that the good Lord wanted you to sit here and wait. So if that's what you want to stick to, you have every right to. I'm just saying, perhaps you can just think a little differently today. Be intentional about your life. Don't let it casually pass you by. And my thing was, there were some things I wanted to experience because I didn't want to leave this earth not knowing. Why am I afraid of flying? I want to see all the beautiful things that the Creator has created. So mine was interlocked with my dream. I have a decree. So we have a Waddell decree of what the Waddells will do. And in that decree and in my vision is that I will be I will travel the world and be an international speaker. I will do this. And it hit me 3, 4, 5 years ago. Jojo, you want to be an international speaker. You want to travel the world telling people this, but you won't even do the first step of getting on the plane. I can't make you be an international speaker and travel the world to tell anybody nothing when you won't even do the first step, which is to get on the plane. I was like, oh, that simple. It clicked. Then I became an international speaker. That's when it happened. The moment I said, oh, I'm demanding of this, but it's also demanding of me. Once I did my part, the doors opened. I became an international speaker, featured in magazines in Thailand, in the UK. Did y'all know that I'm featured in some magazines in Thailand, the United Kingdom? There's somewhere else, I forget. One of my books is an international bestseller. I've spoken in Curacao. I'm just saying, once you do your step that you're demanding something of, it's demanding something of you. Once you do that step, the door is open. You got to jump. And for me, that jump was just boop, boop. Be intentional about that today. So on this lovely day, absolutely, Joshua. Absolutely. So I hope you had the most amazing day ever. I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's absolutely nothing after that. Today, I want you to be mindful of how far you've jumped, the limitations that you're placing on others because you assume they can't jump because you don't want to. That's not their problem. And don't make it their responsibility for you not wanting to jump. Okay? That's not their responsibility. Don't give them that weight. They don't deserve that. So on this lovely day, I want you to have the most amazing day ever. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. Don't forget the podcast. Don't forget the books. You know what? I think let me get this for you guys right fast. I have a lot of people ask me about the books that I read when I first started, and I have a list. I have a reading list. Let me see if I can find it for you. Because and it is my reading list. Can't find it, but when I do, I will more than happily put it down here for you. And it's a list of books that I have read that helped me along the way. Of course, the first one was Joyce Meyer's The Battlefield of the Mind. Listen, if you want to start somewhere, start with that. That's easy. What was the other one? Battlefield of the Mind, The Confident Woman. And then I moved up. As you grow, you can move. You can move up in all the places. Let's see if this is it. I want to try to give it to you guys before I get off. How about I give y'all some freebies? How about that? How about that? And I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. And if you have, please let me know. I can't find the book list. But that's okay. Here is a copy of my daily mantra that you can grab. Let's see if it comes up for you guys. I talk a lot about a mental detox. There's a copy of the mental detox, like if you need to detox yourself from what other people think and what they have been giving you. There you go. Here is, if you've never read my book, here is 3 free chapters of book 1 that you are more than happy to read. And I think that is it, y'all. Yep. So on this wonderful morning, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Can you guys see so they're not coming up here. Let's see. Let's see if I can copy and paste that. I don't know if it's coming over in the comments for the other one. So please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. All right, so that's the free chapters. Here's the daily mantra. There's a squirrel looking at me in the window. That's the daily mantra. Let me give you guys. Oh, here's my reading list. Here's a copy of the reading list. There you go. Let me put it over there for you. There's a copy of the reading list. And here is the mental detox. I got some freebies for you guys today. I hope you enjoy them. Please let me know if you do. Okay, I think that's everything. All right, guys, I hope you have the most amazing day ever. Thank you for hanging out with me today. And I know I'm looking away from the camera because I wanted to find that mental detox one because it's not showing up. I hope you have the most amazing day ever. I want you to be peaceful, period. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. And I will see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. And please be intentional, right? Be intentional, y'all, about what you're going to do today. Be intentional about jumping today. Be intentional about something. Like, don't just let the day go and you just assume that there's nothing for you to do. There's always something that you can do differently that can impact your life for the better at all times. So I hope you have the most amazing day, and I'll see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.